Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money low, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yo, what's good, original crew, man? We back. More Mr. Ballen. We got influencers jump into pool of poison. Why would you do such a thing? I don't know.
Yeah.
Would I ever do such a thing? Hell no. Would I do anything as far as any like weird challenges that I deemed as unsafe and just why? Hell no.
Yeah, never.
It doesn't make sense. Now, will I ever do like how they did the ice bucket challenge? They were dumping over people and shit. I'd do that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's and it was for a good cause.
Yeah, that was different. But
most of them, like internet challenges and stuff people try to create, be dumb, weird, and stupid.
Anything that's go like for real put my life at risk. I'm good.
Like people used to put the alcohol over them, set themselves on fire, to jump in water.
Just dumb.
Stupid.
I'm not doing that.
Like majority of stuff, like even with the salt and ice, how people used to.
Yeah.
You know you burn it. Like, come on now.
You remember the cinnamon one?
Yeah, I actually tried to do the cinnamon joint. It's like it just dries your mouth out so fast. I ain't do it for a camera. I just said, I said, let me try what this is. And
I just thought that was a little. I mean, people was doing it, but I was like, I wouldn't,
Hey, it was just dry. Like
I just want to do it.
Taste all the saliva at your mouth. You just my mouth dry as hell. That's all.
Maybe you didn't do a lot.
I ain't even do a lot.
Yeah.
So hey, with that being said, make sure y'all check out the links in the description box. Down below. You already know where to go if you want to first support. All you gotta do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's video,
like it with a thumbs up.
Hey, she picked this one, y'all. This her
hey.
She said hey, this her choice. A lot of times, you know what I'm saying, it be me. So if we pick a dub one, you know what I'm saying,
no,
most of the time.
I'm
saying, listen. I said if we have ever picked a dub one, I was saying it was my fault. I'm saying, but this one on you.
We gonna see. If it ain't good, y'all, sorry. How I'm supposed to know?
I tried.
She
said I tried. I tried.
Yeah, that's all I can do.
You ready?
Yeah,
Let's go. Let's check it out. Let's see what's about, man.
Today, we're going to look at 3 places you can't go and people who went there anyways. But before we get into today's stories, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right place because that's all we do, and we upload 2 or 3 times every week. So if that's of interest to you, the next time the like button has a big public speech they have to give, offer them a mint right beforehand. Except this mint is actually a plaque disclosing tablet. Also, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads. All right, let's get into today's stories. In early 2020, a very popular Russian Instagram influencer named Ekterina Didenko was getting ready to celebrate her 29th birthday. She, along with her husband and some of her influencer friends, were planning to enjoy the occasion at a popular spa in Moscow, Russia. The group rented out a private section of the spa that included a steam room and a small indoor pool. And then once the reservations were made, Didenko and all of her influencer friends began eagerly talking about how excited they were about this party on their various social media accounts. When the day finally came, February 28th, which was Didenko's birthday, Didenko, her husband, and the 8 other people they invited, they all descended on this spa. So they go inside, they go back to their private area, and it's great. There's food, there's alcohol, there's music, they're jumping into the pool, then getting in the hot tub, and everyone's just having a great time. Everyone's taking pictures and filming and live streaming. I mean, it's really going as well as it possibly could be. And then at some point, Didenko's husband signals the rest of the group, minus Didenko, and they all begin to pull out these white hazardous materials suits. Imagine what you would see in a movie if there was some huge chemical leak, a full body white suit with a mask. And so they're all putting on these hazmat suits, and they give one to Didenko, who puts it on as well, and they tell her this is part of her big surprise. Now, it's unclear if Didenko actually didn't know what was going to happen next, or if she's just pretending to be surprised because it would do better on social media, because this is all being filmed and she's an influencer. But either way, she puts on her hazmat suit, and once everyone has their suits on, Didenko's husband wheeled in this huge cooler like you would bring to a picnic, and he placed it right on the edge of the pool. When he opened the lid, the crowd all gasped and laughed and smiled and filmed as these huge clouds of smoke or steam came pouring out of it. What it was roughly 55 pounds of dry ice. Dry ice is just frozen carbon dioxide. It's commonly used for things like refrigerating perishable goods for long periods of time because dry ice stays cold for a really long time. Also, because of the huge white gas clouds that come off of dry ice, it's also very commonly used as a sort of spooky decoration because you have these very cool white clouds going everywhere. And in fact, that's what Didenko's husband planned to use this dry ice for. He was going to dump it into the pool and create those big white gas clouds all over the pool. The reason they call it dry ice is because as it starts to heat up, it doesn't melt into a liquid state the way frozen water does. Instead, it goes directly from a solid state to a gas state. Dry ice is considered to be quite hazardous if it's handled inappropriately, and while these partygoers all had their hazmat suits on, it's unlikely they were actually wearing them for safety. It's far...
Let me ask you a question, because I always wondered this when I see it. You know how people be putting dry ice in drinks?
Oh, like
to make that like foamy stuff? But they be like, it's safe though. But I'm like, is it safe? You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like the logic behind it. Like when you really go into the chemicals of it, is it really safe?
I don't know for sure if it's like different like forms and grade. Like I don't know.
Yeah, because I ain't never looked into it.
'Cause I've dealt with dry ice before.
We've gotten a package with dry ice before. Remember?
Yeah.
We got something, I can't remember what it was, and they had dry ice.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I've dealt with it like in high school, but you gotta be super careful and not touch it and do it to be whatever, you know what I'm saying? So don't give me the line. I really don't know. I'm a little rusty. So I don't know for sure. But yeah, like when you be seeing like everybody and
they had this little drink and they be like, they put dry ice as you in the drink. Because I've seen somebody
now you make me want to like
do some research, because I'm like, can it be like, you know,
all had their hazmat suits on, it's unlikely they were actually wearing them for safety. It's far more likely they were wearing them because it would look good on social media and would kind of hype up the stunt they were about to do. And so after the dry ice was revealed inside of this cooler, Didenko's husband and another of the partygoers grabbed the sides of the cooler and they dumped its contents directly into the water. And as soon as the dry ice hit the water, it rapidly began to warm up, which caused a massive, almost explosion of carbon dioxide gas to completely fill the lower half of the room. Now, none of the partygoers are even a little bit fazed by what's happening. They don't realize how dangerous this actually is. And so they're just filming and laughing and kind of thinking this is so funny. And then Didenko's husband actually leaps through the cloud into the water and kind of disappears below. And then shortly after that, two other partygoers would also leap into the pool. One of the main reasons dry ice is considered to be so hazardous if handled inappropriately is because dry ice emits that carbon dioxide gas, which at high concentrations will displace oxygen. So imagine if you're in a very small room that has very poor ventilation. If you had lots of carbon dioxide in there, you would suffocate. And so this indoor pool was a small confined space with poor ventilation. And so the 7 people on the pool deck, shortly after this dry ice has been tossed into the pool, they started to realize it was really hard to breathe because the oxygen was basically being sucked out of the room. And so they were able to turn and actually run out of the pool deck before it was too late. Meanwhile, Didenko's husband and the other 2 people who leapt into the pool, when they came back to the surface, they breathed in thinking they would be breathing in oxygen, but instead they breathed in an entire lungful of carbon dioxide, which in addition to displacing oxygen at higher concentrations inside of confined spaces with poor ventilation, it is also poisonous at higher concentrations inside of confined spaces quarters with poor ventilation. And so when the three of them surfaced, they breathed in this poisonous gas, which caused two of them to immediately pass out and then just die, while the third, Didenko's husband, he managed to stay conscious enough that he was able to climb barely out of the pool, and he tried to get to the door, but he couldn't get out in time. Yeah. Eventually, he was pulled out and rushed to the hospital, but he would later die, not only from carbon dioxide poisoning, but also from having gone without oxygen for as long as he had.
I can't, like, understand why people, like,
do the craziest shit for other people, like, for
you know what I'm saying? For, like, other people's entertainment and enjoyment. Like, cause...
Or do crazy shit and not even understanding everything. Or do full
research and not understanding what you're doing.
Because you remember, back in 2020, dry ice was very, like, popular.
Was it?
At one point, dry ice was on the internet was very popular.
The only
and people were using it for every fucking thing.
The only time I always, like, seen it, which I still do, is, like you said, like, people go to these restaurants and they put them in the drinks.
It wasn't even just that. I was seeing people using dry ice, like, in all type of videos.
I guess I just...
Because it was like, oh, look at all the smoke. That's cool. Oh,
yeah, I guess I can't remember, but...
And the dry... I want to say it was, like, right around, like, quarantine time. I swear. Yeah. Like, it was one point... I want to say it was 2018, 2019, up to... Like, at one point, dry ice, the phenomenon was going crazy.
It probably was. I just can't remember. Yeah,
but that was, like, that was the... I'll say this, but that was the dumbest decision all y'all could have made. Cool for the imagery. Y'all obviously had too much dry ice.
Yeah.
But it's cool for the aesthetic, but not thinking or knowing. Y'all could have probably used a small amount to still get that But that was dumb as hell to jump in the pool.
Or but what were y'all trying to get? Because it was nothing.
It was
really
all for the
done.
It was all for the social media.
Yeah, I know. And I don't get. We could have did something else.
So 3 people lost their lives. Whose decision was this in the first place?
Yeah, that's so like.
Why?
Like why? It's so unfortunate, sad at the same time, but also y'all really gotta do like research. Like, don't just be doing shit just because they look good. You know what I'm saying? Because no, I just can't. I just would never. I don't know.
Can't seem to bring yourself to.
Yeah, because I'm just like, why? Even stuff. Like you said, going back to the drink thing. Because the first time I ever like really seen, I was like, well, I remember back in high school we couldn't even touch it. So why are we putting it in the drinks?
And people do put them in the drinks because that's how they get that fuzzy little
cloud. Yeah. It's aesthetically, it's cute. Like you said, it's cute, whatever. But to consume it,
it's not even safe though.
I would think not.
I don't know.
But who am I?
Somebody had to sign off on this being safe for
I guess maybe in a small amounts. I don't know, because people do
consume.
They consume it. So
they be like, "Ooh, look at my drink," and first thing they do, social media. Social media have ruined a lot. It's a blessing and a curse.
It's a blessing and a curse. Right. Yeah.
So 3 people died from that situation.
From that situation.
And 2 immediately.
I about to say 2 immediately, and then that's messed up. That's sad.
On Saturday, September 30th, 2017, a staff member at a North Wales country club noticed water leaking out of the bottom of an outside wall of one of their many bungalows. These bungalows, which were generally just vacation rentals, were single-story white structures situated up on this beautiful green hillside. The staff member, after seeing this leak, they just turn around and go back to the front office and they tell their boss about it. And then shortly after, 2 maintenance workers were sent out to check on this leak. And so these 2 workers, they go over to this bungalow and they knock on the front door. But after a while, when no one comes to the door, they pull out their master key and they begin to turn the lock. And as they do that, they yell out just in case, hey, we're here just to check on a leak. We have to come in. It's a potential emergency. And so they open up the door, they swing it open, and no one comes to the door. It's still silent. And they're looking into this property. And what they see is on the left, from their perspective, is a kitchen. And on their right is a living room. It was basically one big room that had been designated for 2 distinct functions. And so they yelled out again into this bungalow, hey, we're coming inside. We're just checking on this leak. And then they just walked straight across past the living room and past the kitchen to the back of this property where they reached a door. And this door led into a bedroom, and this door was shut. And so just as a precaution, they knocked on the bedroom door, but nobody came to the door again. So they opened up the bedroom door and they looked into this room, and on the right side of the room, tucked up against the right wall, were 2 twin beds where the head of each bed was tucked up against the wall. And then in the middle of the room, at the base of these 2 beds, was a pile of unopened luggage. And so to the 2 maintenance workers, this told them that someone clearly was staying in this bungalow. Either they had just arrived or they were getting ready to leave, but apparently they were not there right now. And so the workers walked around the luggage and around the 2 beds. So they walked on the left side of the room, all the way to the back where there was another closed door, and it went into the bathroom. And based on where the leak had been coming out of the structure, they believed it would be coming from this particular bathroom. And so again, they get up to this door and they knock on it because, they want to make sure no one's in there, but there's more silence. And so they open up the bathroom, and right away they see water all over the bathroom floor. But as they scan around the bathroom, they look at the sink, they look at the shower, the toilet, none of them are overflowing or running. So it was not any of the usual suspects that had caused this leak. However, there was one other area in the bathroom that could have caused a water leak, and that was the airing cupboard. An airing cupboard is typically where you keep a hot water heater. It's basically like a walk-in closet where the majority of the space is taken up by this heater. And also generally people put in shelves in front of the heater to store their linens and towels and that sort of thing. And in this bungalow, the airing cupboard had its own door, and it was right in the bathroom. And this door to the airing cupboard was right to the left of the door that led into the bathroom from the bedroom. And so these 2 workers, they reached over and they opened the door that led into this airing cupboard. And as soon as it swung in, they could tell right away where the leak was coming from. And they could tell right away they had a much, much bigger problem. 7 days earlier, 60-year-old former policewoman Mary Isherwood arrived at the North Wales Country Club. She and her ex-husband had for a long time owned one of these bungalows. However, they almost never stayed in it. They basically used it as an income property, renting it out to vacation goers. But they had recently decided that they wanted to actually sell the property. And so before the sale became final, Mary had told her ex-husband that she just wanted to go and spend a week actually enjoying the property and actually take a vacation there. And so originally she and some friends were going to go to this bungalow and spend a week there. But right before they were going to leave, Mary's friends all said they couldn't make it. And so Mary decided she would just go on her own. And so Mary arrives at this country club. It's late at night when she gets there. She gets to the bungalow. She puts her luggage down in her bedroom. And then instead of just kind of getting settled in and going to sleep, she decides she's going to go exercise. Mary was incredibly fit and healthy. She loved playing golf and running and exercising in general. And she knew the club had a pool. And so she reached into her luggage and she just pulled out a bathing suit. She switched into that, and then she went down to the pool and did some lap swimming. After that, she came back to her room where she took a shower, and then she climbed in bed without any clothes on. That was just how Mary liked to sleep. And then at some point in the middle of the night, Mary woke up to go use the bathroom. And so she hopped out of her twin bed. She walked around to the door that led into the bathroom. She went inside, she did her business. And then afterwards, as she was attempting to go back into her bedroom, she accidentally grabbed the door handle of the airing cupboard, which was right to the left of the door leading back to her bedroom. She opened it up, it swung inward. She stepped into the airing cupboard, which was totally pitch black. And as she walked in, she might have bumped into the shelves or realized, this was the wrong turn. But as soon as this happened, the door behind her had actually shut. And so she's inside of this tiny airing cupboard, realizing, okay, this is not where I need to go. I've made a silly mistake. She turned around to grab the door handle to open the airing cupboard back up again. But when she grabbed the knob, it disintegrated in her hands. It broke into multiple parts and fell to the ground. Now, this space she is in is pitch black. She has no way of knowing which parts go where for this doorknob.
That space didn't look that damn big. You get what I'm saying?
To even walk in actually,
or unless it didn't have shelves in it, but still, it don't seem that damn big to you. Oh, I closed myself in. Oh,
for you to even
get trapped in it,
right?
But and it opens inward. Did he? He said it open inward.
So you would have to maneuver yourself around for it to even close.
Some don't sound right with this bullshit. I'm just saying.
Well, we don't know exactly the setup, I guess. And
he said.
I mean, I know. But I'm just saying, I'm a visual person. I needed to be there.
So by touch, she reached down and she grabbed all these pieces and she probably tried to put them together and put it back on this door to try to get it open, but she just couldn't do it. And so eventually Mary would have realized this is a pretty serious situation. She was staying at this bungalow by herself and she was not expected to check out for another week. So no one was going to be checking on her. And without this doorknob, she could not open this closet door. It was a hard wooden door. The locking mechanism was solid. There was just no way to open it without this doorknob. And so Mary began banging on the door and screaming out for help, but her bungalow was not actually connected.
Aren't typically, like, especially doorknobs inside of a crib, don't typically, because I've seen people, if you knock off one side, well, not all the time, but a lot of times, you can push the other one and kick it.
Depending on what type of door it is.
That shit don't make no sense. I'm just saying. It ain't that long ago, so the mechanism can't be that,
we don't know, exactly. Even though when it happened, it wasn't that long ago. We don't know how long the...
Shit still does. Some still sound iffy with this. And it just don't make sense. But I'm going to let people keep talking.
Again, banging on the door and screaming out for help. But her bungalow was not actually connected to any other structures. It was a standalone. And so her voice did not carry very far. And the banging sounds she was making, those also did not carry very far. And so no one heard her. And so after several hours, she's just standing in this closet, probably thinking to herself, how in the world did I get myself in this position? But after the initial shock of this totally bizarre situation she was in had worn off, she decided to act. And so she turned away from the door and she faced towards the back of this closet. She would have been face to face with a row of shelves, but she wouldn't have been able to see the shelves because it was totally dark. And then beyond the shelves, farther into this closet, was the actual hot water heater. There was no wall behind the shelves. Basically, there was a space behind the shelves where this heater was. And so Mary grabbed one of these shelves and she managed to break it off the wall. And then she turned around and used this piece of wood and tried to smash the door, but very quickly realized that was just going to do nothing. However, she began striking the wall right next to the door and she realized she could break through the drywall. She was starting to kind of burrow a hole. And so maybe she thought to herself, if I can just build a hole big enough right next to the door, I can reach through the hole and maybe open this cupboard from the outside. And so she began using the shelf to smash this wall and she's burrowing as fast as she can, but the progress must have been very, very slow because she decides she needs a different tool. So she turns back around, so she's facing the shelves again, and she breaks down a few more shelves to clear a path to get to the water heater. And then once she could step past the shelves, once there was a path, she got right in front of this water heater, and then by touch began feeling around for any pipes extending off of the heater. And when she found one, she got a good grip of it, and she began yanking and tugging on it until she managed to rip a piece of pipe off of the hot water heater. Now, as soon as she did that, she now had a pipe that was a far better tool for burrowing and creating this hole in the wall. However, as soon as that pipe broke off, cold water began leaking out of this hot water heater, the water that had not been heated yet. And it was being sprayed all over the inside of this cupboard. Now, this was a very small space, and so there was no way for Mary to get out from under this cold water. And so it was a shocking and probably very painful experience. But she now had her tool and figured, okay, this is awful, but I'll just use this tool, I'll burrow this hole, I'll get this cupboard open, and I'll get out of here. And so with the water raining down on her, Mary used her new piece of pipe and began digging and burrowing at that spot right next to the door. But after a while, probably several hours, she struck a brick wall. There was no way she could actually push through this wall and reach around and open the cupboard door. There was nothing she could do. It was a dead end. And so totally devastated and probably very exhausted from all the energy she used to burrow this hole, she stopped. She's still getting rained down on by all this freezing cold water. And instead of just totally giving up, She just turned and faced the wall that was leading into her bedroom. She began digging again, using this tool all over again to now dig a new hole on this other wall, most likely hoping that she could literally burrow a hole big enough that she could actually crawl through into her bedroom and escape. And so after several more hours of digging as fast and as hard as she could, while also periodically banging on the door and screaming out for help, she did eventually push through into her bedroom. However, in a cruel twist of fate, when she did finally poke through this wall, there was no bricks in the way, she hit what felt like another dead end. But in fact, what it was a picture frame with a glass cover across it had been screwed onto the wall in her bedroom. And this painting was right over where she was digging this hole. And so in her totally exhausted and panicked and saddened and scared state, she hits the back of this painting. And again, it's pitch black and she's feeling through the hole most likely. And she's touching this hard back of this painting. And she's realizing, oh my goodness, I've hit another dead end. There's nowhere for me to go. Even though in reality, she could have very easily just broken through that frame and then maybe made the hole a little bit bigger, and then she could have squeezed through it and escaped. But she didn't know that, and so she eventually just slouched to the ground and accepted her fate. 6 days later, when those two maintenance workers opened the airing cupboard door, they found Mary's body slumped up against the wall inside this closet. She had died of hypothermia. It would turn out other residents of the other bungalows nearby heard banging coming from this bungalow on Saturday night, the night that Mary actually got stuck. And then they also heard the banging the following morning, on Sunday morning. But none of the other residents reported it because they believed it was just construction or some other maintenance work. However, there was one couple staying in one of the nearby bungalows that thought there was something off about this banging, and they told each other, if the banging persists past 5 p.m. on Sunday, so that's the day after Mary got stuck, this couple told each other that if it continues past 5 p.m., we'll report it. But as it happened, Mary stopped banging on the walls and yelling for help right around 5 p.m. on Sunday. And so this couple, right as they're getting ready to go tell the front desk, the banging stopped, and so they stopped worrying about it. It's unclear how long Mary survived after she stopped banging around 5 p.m. on Sunday. It could have been minutes, it could have been hours, it could have been days. Mary's family would ultimately sue the country club for negligence. However, the outcomes of this case have not been made public.
I'll say this with the story, right? It's still just, the room big enough, but it's small enough. Shit just don't sound right. You get what I'm saying?
The only thing I'm confused about.
It's big enough for you to move around. You got another shelf in there. It's big enough for you to get trapped.
The only thing I'm confused about is how you walk into the bathroom.
I don't know how to walk out the bathroom.
Not even that, but the fact that you walk into the bathroom
one way.
Like, where exactly is this door at?
Listen, also this. You own the damn bungalow. It's your shit.
And I guess maybe because she's so tired and been sleeping, she like woke up out of her sleep. You know how people just like go with the motion.
I thought he said she came back from the pool.
Yeah, he said she came back from the pool. I thought he said she took a shower. I can't remember. And then got in bed, no clothes on or whatever, because that's how she liked to sleep. And then I thought she got up at one point and went to use the restroom.
Because it was a lot of fluff in it, but it's unfortunate she went out that way.
Yeah.
But I still don't understand.
I just wish I knew exactly. Like, I know he showed pictures, but I just,
because that's the picture he showed. I didn't see somebody getting stuck up in that.
And then the picture that was shown, I'm thinking, well, oh dang, if the bathroom here and the shelves are here, I'm thinking everything is open and exposed. Because how the picture looked, I'm thinking everything open. So I just crawled through one of the shelves and go back. No. But that's not how it's set up. That's just how I viewed it. But that's not how it's set up. Exactly.
The door was open.
Because the door, yeah. So, still, I mean, I don't know. I guess you can't get confused.
What I'm saying is, and then how the couple talk about some, we said about 5 o'clock we still banging.
Because if I hear banging like that in itself is dumb as hell. There's no construction going. I'm calling. I don't care if it is construction.
My G, you know if you go outside, you gonna see. And you ain't gonna be hearing banging like that, and you ain't gonna see shit.
Like, you know the difference and stuff. Like, I mean, not putting it on them or nothing like that, but it's just shit happen with that. It's just like if I, like, say for instance, we hear something and I'm like, okay, that's not of the norm. Like, you know, I'm calling someone right away. Like, if it's, yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I will.
I know you.
Yes, I will.
No, you won't.
No, you do not.
You be like, ain't got shit to do with me.
You should know me better than that. I would not. If I hear some banging and I think something sounds abnormal, yes, I am. You know the difference for somebody banging a hammer, maybe hanging a picture up. Like, come on now. Really? Like, you sit up here.
You'll hit me with this. Should I call the police? I'll be like, see, I don't know. You'll be crazy.
I mean, yeah, I'll be like that. Should I? Because I'm like, is it really that serious? Am I wasting their time? But then you never know. Like, no, you definitely wouldn't call the police.
There's been situations already. I'll be like, see, you be like, I don't know. We be like,
we have never heard anything.
I ain't saying banging, but I'm saying suspicious things. And you like, I don't know. I'm going to just mind my business.
Please give me one example.
I ain't going to
I may not remember.
Exactly.
But that's the thing, you know I'm not going to remember, so you going to say something.
No, I'm not. Because I ain't finna say something.
He be fucking with my head, y'all, because I be like, I don't remember too much, so.
I'm not, but you remember what you want to remember. But my thing is, it's just in that situation.
I would have called.
In this situation, it's just a lot of things just don't add up. The door handle with that shit, it's just too much shit just don't add up, bruh. And I'm very sketchy about the whole situation.
But no one was there.
I ain't saying somebody was there. I'm just saying the whole scenario just...
okay.
The fact that you randomly walked into come on now, and then so you trying to get out, the door handle fall off like that, and then you can't get out, and then it's big enough to lock your ass in, but small enough where you can't maneuver to get the fuck out. You can't kick the bit, like, and then I'm like, how does it? If it swings in, that doesn't make. I would understand if it swings this way. I'm kicking it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, how? Because I'm like, you said it's too small. So if a door opens up for you to go in this way, and if it's small,
then it should be hard for it to close.
It ain't gonna close because it's you blocking. You
have to like maneuver yourself.
But if it opens up this way, you should be able to kick it.
Yeah, I feel.
But if it's so small where she can't kick it, you should be able to.
We hear about freak accidents.
No, let me finish. Okay. If it's too small, you ain't got that. Ain't that much space for you to be trying to boom, 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 and do all that, and then go into this side of it and boom.
Yeah, true. I get what you're saying. I'm there too, but I don't really know the setup. Some just don't
add up though. Some don't. Bro, he showed the shit.
I know he showed it.
He showed the shit.
But
the shit little.
Pictures be looking a little different than when you really go into something. It's like
true that.
You know
true that at the same time. But this bitch, man, I'm not saying her, but I'm saying this bitch is the bathroom. The bathroom thing. You getting locked in there? See, it's only a little picture she's looking at.
How was she even? Is this the real picture though?
That was the picture he said, referencing. He said that
because normally he'll say it's the real picture, but it's
not the real picture. He said similar picture to what?
Okay, calm down.
Similar picture of the bungalow.
Okay, because I'm trying to see. I'm like, because anyway, what
and
space
it's
is there?
tight as hell in there for her to get.
And I'm trying to figure out what space.
Exactly.
Break the place.
Maybe the photos ain't exact layout.
That's what I'm saying.
But he said
I can't go off of this.
On the photo, he said similar photo to what the thing looked like.
I would say it's similar in the same, like exact same as different.
Because I'm like, he could have found the bungalow the other in the same area,
right? Because
they all look the same, and they probably advertising and they showing you the photos online.
Maybe so.
So that's what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying it just...
Ain't no way in hell you can even maneuver that much in there to be banging on this and banging in to get cut. Man, I don't know. This shit just sound... But it could... I don't know. I'm not saying somebody did something to her.
Yeah.
I ain't saying that. I'm just saying just the whole theories part just don't sound right.
Yeah, I feel you.
I don't know what the... Because if the door goes in, it got to be enough space for the door to go inward. Right? But if it's so small, because he also said it was so small, then if it's so small, ain't no way the door can go inward enough where it's either big enough or small enough.
I get what you're saying. I don't know, child, but it's... And then, to her, it's super unfortunate.
And then you said she's so athletic, strong enough. Why we ain't hammering at the fucking door? Why we hammering at the wall? It's a wood door.
And if the handle came off, I would have been trying to like do something to get
that
look.
I would have banged through the whole.
I mean, but to get...
Especially when you got the pipe off.
Also, maybe she was tired, probably wasn't thinking...
You thinking enough to rip a pipe off the wall? Why the hell you thinking enough to do the...
I know, but it's sad. It's super unfortunate. Rest in peace to her, for real, because...
R.I.P. to her, for real, though. But I'm still like, hey, it's something ain't...
It's just not adding up for you.
Yeah. Let go. Sorry, y'all. I got to get my shit off.
On July 30th, 2013, 56-year-old Roger Miro grabbed a bag of trash from his apartment and then walked out into the hall. He turned right and walked down the hall until he reached the trash chute, which was right on the side of the wall. He opened it up. It was like a mailbox. He opened it up. He dropped his trash bag inside. He closed the trash chute and then walked back to his apartment. When he got back inside, he instinctively reached down to his right pocket to grab his cell phone, but it wasn't there. So he grabbed his left pocket, wasn't there either. He checked his back pockets, he's fishing around, and he realizes he doesn't have his phone. So he figures, okay, I must have put it down somewhere in my apartment. Now, Roger was legally blind, so it made looking for small things in his apartment quite difficult. But nonetheless, he began looking all over his apartment for his phone. He started in the kitchen, he looked all over the place, checked all the surfaces, no cell phone. He went to the living room, to the bedroom, to the bathroom, but there was no cell phone. And so...
Stop, child. All I'm trying to say is this is one of my biggest fears when, literally when I be taking the trash. I be trying to make sure I don't take nothing to the trash on me. I be like, I want to leave everything off me. Because I'll be damn. I'm throwing the trash in the trash chute and some go in there with it. And I'm like, and this bitch, it compress. And if I had to go, you know what I'm saying? You don't ever think about stuff like that? I don't know. My mom be going there.
No cell phone. He went to the living room, to the bedroom, to the bathroom, but there was no cell phone. And so Roger thought maybe when he walked to the trash chute, he might have dropped the phone in the hallway. And so he left his apartment, he turned right, and he walked along, retracing his footsteps all the way to the trash chute. But all along the way, there was no phone on the ground. And so as he's standing in front of the opening to this trash chute, he thinks to himself, you know, maybe I accidentally put my phone in the trash bag that I have now just dropped down this trash chute. And so as Roger is standing there wondering what he's supposed to do, one of his neighbors walked out into the hall and looked down and saw Roger standing there kind of inquisitively looking at this opening to the trash chute. And they asked Roger, you know, what's going on? And Roger explained the whole phone situation. And the neighbor said, well, you know, hey, why don't you go down to the first floor and ask the manager if you can get the key to the trash room on the first floor where all the trash goes. And so Roger said, thank you very much. He turned and made his way to the elevator, and the neighbor went back inside of his apartment. Roger went down to the first floor. He went to the manager's office. He knocked on the door. And when the door opened, the manager was obviously very busy with something. And Roger would say, hey, you know, I'm just looking to get into the trash room. I think I might have accidentally thrown my phone away. And I just want to have a look in the trash to see if I can find it. Now, this manager knew he was not allowed to let anybody who lived in the apartment complex go into that trash room on their own. It was a dangerous space. And so the manager was supposed to go in there with them if they needed to go in and look around in the trash. But right when Roger went up to the manager's office, the manager was waiting for a very important phone call and so couldn't really leave his office. But the manager kind of empathized with Roger and felt bad for him and said, okay, you know what? I'll just give you the key. You can go in there on your own and go looking for your cell phone. I hope you find it. And when you're done, just bring the key back here. And so Roger said, thank you very much. He took the key, he left the office, and he made his way down the hall to the trash room. And when he got there, he unlocked the lock and went inside. A few hours later, Roger's wife came home from work, and when she got to the apartment, Roger wasn't in there. She tried calling his cell phone, but he didn't pick up. And so she walked around the apartment hoping there would be some indication of where he might have gone, like a letter or something, but there was nothing. And so Roger's wife was really concerned about this because this was totally out of character for her husband to go out at night on his own. And so she, operating on a gut instinct, called the police and reported him missing. And so a few minutes later, 2 police officers show up at this apartment building. They go up to Roger's apartment, they speak to Roger's wife, and then they go into the hall and they knock on some doors of other neighbors in the area. And after speaking with them, one of the neighbors who had seen Roger earlier said, you know, hey, he lost his phone, and the last I spoke to him, he was going to go down to the trash room to try to see if he could find his phone down there. And so the officers go down to the first floor, they go to the trash room, and they try the door, and it's unlocked. And when they open up the door and they look inside, right in the middle of this totally nondescript windowless room that basically looked like a basement, was this huge green dumpster. And above the green dumpster, high up on the ceiling, was this round opening. And that was the bottom of the trash chute. So when people like Roger and the other people who lived in this apartment building dropped their trash down their respective trash chute on each floor, the trash would come tumbling down and literally fall out of the ceiling into the dumpster. Now, this dumpster was unique. It was not like other dumpsters where the top was just wide open and anyone could lob a bag of trash in. No, this dumpster, only the left side of the dumpster had an opening for trash. The rest of the dumpster was completely welded shut. There was no way into it. And so on the left side, where this dumpster opened up to allow trash to come in, it was positioned right underneath that opening in the ceiling where the trash came tumbling down. And it wasn't just an opening. It was like this near vertical tunnel that was welded on to the top of this dumpster. And it went straight up and it had this big open mouth at the top, almost like a funnel. And it was there to catch the trash as it fell down, and it would go down this tunnel down into the dumpster. And so the gap between the ceiling and the top of this near vertical tunnel, this chute, was maybe 3 or 4 feet. And so when these officers looked into this room and they saw this dumpster and the chute and this hole in the ceiling, they also saw a ladder had been propped up on the left side of the dumpster right up against that near vertical tunnel, as if someone was trying to look down into the dumpster itself. And so one of the officers walked over, they climbed up the ladder, and when they looked down into this tunnel, down into the dumpster, they found Roger. After a lengthy investigation, this is what is believed to have happened to him. After Roger got that key from the manager, he went to the trash room, he opened it up, and then he went inside and found this huge dumpster. And he would have quickly realized the only way to look into the dumpster, and so to go looking for his phone, was to look down into this tunnel. There was a ladder nearby, so he grabbed it and he propped it up against the side of the dumpster, and he climbed up on top and he looked down into the tunnel, down into the dumpster, and as he was looking, either some trash from the ceiling fell down and struck him, causing him to lose his balance, or he just slipped somehow. But either way, he lost his balance and he tumbled into the tunnel, down into the dumpster. And what Roger didn't know is as soon as that happened, he was doomed. Because this was not some ordinary dumpster. This was a trash compactor. And as soon as Roger fell down that tunnel, his body triggered an electronic sensor that activated the trash compactor. So the way this worked is there was this big metal ram inside the dumpster. There's a ram on one side, and once it gets activated, it will press. There's a hydraulic press that pushes it all the way to the other side. So any of the trash in this dumpster will get compressed against the other side of the dumpster. And then at that point, the ram comes all the way back. And so every time trash would come down that chute, it would trigger that sensor, the trash compactor would start, it would flatten the trash, and so on and so forth. And so
and if he had went in there with the manager, it would have turn it off. And so if you go down, because you're supposed to trigger that sensor off for emergency, say, hey, it's an emergency, the sensor won't go. And, you know, like, damn. And you had all these, like, the manager could have called the phone.
Yeah.
The
just to see if you could
neighbor
hear
called the phone.
Yeah,
even if you have it on vibrate, it would have...
Just to see, hey, it's in there. But my thing is, at this point, I'm just going to leave it.
Ain't nobody thought about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Coming across all these people.
Because everybody,
Because it's not their problem.
It's not their problem. Like, hey, I gave you a solution. Try it out. About to go. And then I'm the manager waiting on the phone call. I really ain't got time to deal with this here. Like, that.
And I know he got fired.
I hope so.
Because you violate like a motherfucker.
That sensor, the trash compactor would start, it would flatten the trash, and so on and so forth. And so Roger has fallen down into the dumpster, he's triggered this compactor, but he's legally blind, he's probably dazed from the fall, and so by the time he realizes what's going on and he's kind of looking around, there is a hydraulic press bearing down on him. And so he probably tried to jump up the tunnel to try to escape the dumpster, but there was no ladder inside this tunnel and it was nearly vertical, so there was no way to climb up and out of it. And inside of the dumpster itself, there was no emergency shutoff switch and there was no emergency exit. And so at some point, it's assumed that Roger realized he was not going to be able to climb up the tunnel. And so he only had one direction he could go, which was to retreat to the far side of the dumpster, as far away from the press as he possibly could be. But once he got over there was nowhere for him to go. And so he was forced to just wait as this hydraulic press slowly moved across until it finally reached him and crushed him. Now, we don't know if that very first hydraulic press actually killed Roger. All we know is Roger was trapped inside of this dumpster for several hours, and over that period of time, more and more trash was dropped down the chute, activating the press over and over and over again. And so by the time the police actually looked down into the dumpster, they saw a part of Roger's body, and immediately they could tell there was nothing they could do. Roger was definitely deceased. Roger's wife would sue the manager of the apartment building as well as the company that owned the apartment building for their negligence, but the outcomes of that case have not been made public. So that's gonna do it, guys. If you found the secret in today's
And then also, like, damn, he returned to... I mean, I guess it would have been too late anyway, I guess.
Yeah, after that first
one. But I'm like... But still, after you return his key, you didn't think like, dang, something wrong. Let me go down here and check or call myself or whatever. But either way it goes, it would have probably been.
It was too late after that first.
Anyway.
And then y'all compact after the first every time. Damn.
Yeah, ours was what?
Ours is twice, but that's because people be pulling so much.
It was 3 times.
No, twice.
Oh.
After every two times.
After every
open.
2.
That's crazy, bro.
That's sad.
Crazy. That's crazy. But I'm like, and damn, we ain't get it. I know this is fucked up, but we ain't get an answer to where the phone was.
I thought about that because I did, like, legit. I was like, was the phone even in there?
Because I highly doubt the phone was in there. I highly doubt. You just don't remember where you placed it. But I'm like, damn, the neighbor ain't said, hey, man, I can call your phone.
Hey, let me call it real quick and just make sure it's not in your house. You know what I'm saying? Just to make sure.
Well, the manager, hey, have you tried to get somebody to call it? Use it. Oh, well, it was on silent. Silent, then okay, you might. But I ain't gonna hold you. A phone ain't worth your life.
But it may, most definitely not. But it may not have been because he probably used to, maybe his wife called when she got off work, so he probably want to make sure.
And he's colorblind too, so you know it's probably because it's probably easier for him to lose the phone. So, you know, probably always keep it on the ring or at least vibrate. Mine is pitch black. I lose my phone all the time because mine is black. Most of the time, wherever it is, it's in a dark spot. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm like, I don't know why I got a black phone, got black headphones. I'm losing
everything.
I lose everything, but I ain't always in to find it. But
because of why?
No, not because of you. So stop with the shenanigans.
Oh my gosh.
But and most of the time, you know, a lot of times when I be like, I can't find my phone, or it's on a black ass cover, and I'll be like, I can't stand this black ass cover right here because everything blends in with the black ass cover. But I'll be like, I'm like, a phone ain't worth it. I ain't jumping into no damn trash compactor for no phone. I'm like,
I'm just about to get another one.
And then it was 2013 too. Bro,
I'm gonna have to get.
All the phone was a little cheap back then. One on smartphone.
2013. Yes, it was.
Barely. Not like the phones we got now. That was everybody first now started getting iPhones and shit like that back then.
But regardless, I don't care what type of phone it is. I don't care if it was now.
You think a BlackBerry worth to jumping in that bitch?
I don't care what phone it is, and if it was now, I'm just sorry.
I had a Samsung.
Man.
I had Samsung. I had BlackBerry transfer to say, but yeah.
Anyway, I'm just gonna have to get a new phone because I'm not about to do. I'm not doing that. Like, and I know he probably didn't know those things. You know what I'm saying? He just think he go jump in here and probably be able. He didn't know that it was gonna. Like, he didn't know all that. But like I said, like you said,
y'all probably know there's a trash compactor. And trash compactor, it crushes. I ain't taking that risk. I ain't taking a risk on no trash. Because I be thinking about that shit. Because you know with ours, we got the badge. So I try to make sure I always put, when I scanned it, like beep it to get in, I'm like, all right, let me put this badge secured in my pocket when I throw the trash. And then before I even let the trash shut, I feel around and be like, all right, there go the badge. Before I shut, do anything. Because I'll be damned if I accidentally throw something in.
Jump up in there and catch it. No, I was playing.
I'll be damned if I try to. Because I think about this shit so much.
No, I do think about that, like, as far as, like, accidentally throwing a badge away. But, like, my phone, I always keep, like, my personal belongings in the, like,
you know how much
in the car and stuff.
They be trying to charge for the badge.
It's
$100-$200 for that.
I think it's like two something.
Yeah, I'm not. If I accidentally throw that bitch away, bro, I'm not trying to pay $200.
But I'm just gonna pay it. I'd rather pay that than to be trying to jump and I'm not doing that. But yeah, definitely.
Damn, that shit sucks though, bro. And like you said, you gotta think over several hours. Yeah. There's no way y'all recover the body intact.
Not intact, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm still like, where's the phone? Did we really find the phone after the fact?
Yeah, the whole time I was like, the whole time he was like telling the story, I was like, what if the phone wasn't even in there? Like, and that's even more heartbreaking because, like, damn, the phone was sitting right here the entire time, and now his life is gone.
Yeah,
like. And then for his wife to come home and not even be able to find him, and then have to call the police and then discover that this whole situation occurred while she was at work. Like, that's
And
sad.
I'll say this, 9 times out of 10, she sued them, right? Yeah. Nobody was held legal responsibility besides a civil suit. Yeah. Like, criminal charges, there's no criminal charges from that. Yeah, you know? And so it's like, damn, bro, a life is gone. Yeah. Nobody's really being held responsible by some financial damages, but financial doesn't bring somebody back.
Their life, their loved one.
Like money
nothing will ever be, equal to someone's life.
And 9 times out of 10, she sued them for like $5 million, right?
Yeah.
They settled her out of court for $1 million or $2 million. And then you gotta pay your lawyer part of that. But I don't think they pay taxes on
I don't know how that works. But still, regardless.
But you still, like, financially, still, like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's that? 9 times out of 10, the company fired the manager as a solution for that part.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? But, like, the manager, what you gonna sue him for?
And probably
he financially ain't even got it. He lost the job.
Yeah.
And nobody can, you know what I'm saying? And y'all probably changed out the trash compactor, which is kind of smart to put a trash compactor actually on the inside. Mm-hmm. And just in case somebody actually do fall in there, you have an option to press the emergency. But with that, it might get triggered by the trash compactor compressing something against it. So you like, hey, that still, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
So it's like, you damn if you do, damn if you don't type of situation. But I don't know, because that's one of the things I always think about is people actually falling in the trash compactor, getting stuck and unable to come out. But RIP to all these people, man.
Yeah, definitely RIP to each one of these individuals.
The individuals in the first story, that was just a horrible decision to make. Yeah. To do something like that without having the proper knowledge of how to actually work. Unfortunately, 3 lives were lost behind that for social media entertainment. Yeah. Was it really worth it?
Nothing's
for
ever
a click, for a ha-ha, to try to go viral?
Nothing like this ever.
But you know how many people have died trying to go viral? It's a lot.
A lot. Sadly, a lot.
RIP to Mary, getting trapped in the closet like that.
Yeah.
I I'm still trying to grasp my head around. So maybe y'all can help me in the comments behind that. And most definitely, Roger, man, I feel totally bad. I think a lot of things could have been done to, you know what I'm saying, handle that situation a lot better.
Yeah, facts.
But hey, man, make sure y'all spam us up with y'all thoughts in the comment section down below. Let us know how y'all feel about each of these cases down below. But as always, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ The Kid. This is we are. We are.
Go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my folks. Dollar, 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 dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar, 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 dollar.